Welcome to Journey JavaFX. This is the season 1 episode number 5. In this episode, we are going to talk about the Anchorpane label and TextField, and also if there is enough time, I'm gonna talk about the FXML and the controller relationship. I'm planning to complete season 1 today. Sounds a little crazy, but plan is plan, journey is journey. We will see. Let's get ready into it. All right, here's the notes for this episode. The first one, I want to talk about the screen resolution. You know, when we design a user interface, we need to consider, you know, how big or small the user will see, right? It's kind of, you know, if a user has a high resolution monitor, then we need to make our stuff a little bit bigger, otherwise everything will look so tiny. But if the user has a smaller monitor, then we need to make it slightly smaller, right? But for now, we are not worrying that too much based on the Steam statistic. 1080p is kind of the mainstream, and yeah, accidentally my monitor is this kind of resolution, so I'm gonna use this one kind of as a typical sample. But for the other kind of monitors in the market, you can check about my notes. Yeah, the very old one may be 1024 by 768, but that one is very small. It used to happen on those old-fashioned CRT, the bulky monitor, right? For some of you may not even have a chance to take a look at it, but this kind of you know, kind of a little bit retro style. And then the second one is the TV size. It's about 720p, but for some you know, say entry-level laptop, they're gonna use this kind of resolution. It's about 1366 by 768, you know, something like that. I Google about it, but yeah, just keep in mind, you know, just imagine our max of the, you know, the overall window we are going to make. It should be smaller than 1080p kind of resolution. All right, this one is just a little bit kind of touch up. Let's go back to IntelliJ. Remember, we create the FXML file from episode 3, right? So now we are going to open it in SceneBuilder. Okay, the thing pops up. So now we're gonna click on, yeah, how about we just erase everything and start again. So for this season 1, I'm going to use Anchorpane only. This one is kind of the easiest one, you know. I used to use the grid, but this one is more dynamic. You know, say if you want to make your UI more dynamic. Say when you make the window narrower, everything will be kind of, you know, reorganized from top to down. And if you make the window wider, then, you know, all the controls you list on the UI will be laid out. You know, some of them will be go horizontally, some of them will go vertically, depends on how wide you adjust the screen. But for the purpose, the thing we want to make in season 1, you know, Anchorpane is the easiest one. You know, we just touch about the easiest one, and then we're gonna throw in a label. You can use this kind of search box to find it. Otherwise, just you know, go through all of them, and then you will be able to see. So now it's kind of, you know, we are creating a Anchorpane, like that kind of dashboard, you know, a whiteboard, and we can put stuff on it. Yeah, to change the size of this kind of the board, we can go to layout section on the right hand side, and you can see here is a preferred width, right? For here, I'm gonna make it 1000 because, you know, our 1080p monitor max width is about 1920, right? So 1000 shouldn't be a problem. And for the height, let's put it like 600 for now. We can change it like anytime. Then we're gonna go to this label thing. SceneBuilder is kind of smart when you move a kind of a control. A label, a text field, or a button. They all call them as a control, right? We just have multiple kinds of controls, right? Yeah. So the control is more like the thing we are looking on this kind of board. And for the label, there is a few fancy stuff. For example, the font, right? We can change the font. For now, we're gonna using the system default. If you want to change something else, click on the little arrow button. You have tons of choices. And here is the style. Style is more like make it bold or italic, kind of a little tilt, right? And also you can adjust the kind of the size of the font, right? For now, it's kind of I'm trying to duplicate whatever I did before. So now we are just using this label for this top banner, just make it slightly bigger. Just say like 30, and make it bold. This SceneBuilder tool is awesome, but it has some bug. If we encounter them, I will show you how to work around it, because to be honest, no tool is perfect. And then for this SceneBuilder, it's already awesome enough. A big shout out to the team. They did a good job. I really like it, That's super cool. But if we encounter them, I will show you a workaround. Just say now we have the label. We need two more to simulate this in and out and prefix. We can do them just all in once. Say we drag in a label, and then we just Control C. When you click on it, make sure there are little lines around it. It means it's kind of selected, and then we can change the size. It's more like, let's make it something like this. All right, looks okay to me. So I'm gonna say Control C and Control V to paste it. I paste it like 3 times. So now we have 4 of them, right? So now we're gonna just align them. And SceneBuilder is kind of smart enough to give us the a guideline where we can position it to make them look like more aligned. I really like this part. So for now, to rename the label, we have 2 ways. We can double click on it, then highlight the whole thing, or we can utilize the text box here, right? So, but I prefer is doing it here for some reason. Let's say in. Right, and then we have this one is more like out, right? And then this one we call it prefix. Oh, forgot the colon. And then this one is like the episode number, something like this. Yeah. Oh, the out missing a space in between. All right, and then we're gonna drop in the text field. The text field is quite easy. Just type in text, you should find it. We have a couple option of them, but for now we're gonna use the text field. Text area is more like a multi-line of the text field. Text field is more like 1 line only. Text area like multi-line. That's the main difference between them. For some other purpose, there is a fancy one in blue color. It could be, in the other category, maybe called Gluon, I think. I didn't have a chance to play with them, so for now we're gonna stick with the original ones, the basic stuff. I don't want to cause the the extra confusion. So now we are looking for the text. If you want to look them up manually, it's okay. Text field. All right, find it and drag it over here. Okay, so for this one, I want to make it a little bit bigger. Same idea. Click on it and go here. Say using this kind of slider, or we can use this drop down list, right? So now we can just leave it like that. And also we need 3 more of them. Okay, copy paste like 3 times. Yeah, just align them all together. Okay, it's not perfect, but you get the idea, right? So for this one, we're gonna yeah, the episode 1, you know, I have a kind of a hint thing happens here. Even if I input nothing to here, you still can see something more like a shadow, right? It's not a actual value of it, but it's a hint. How to do it? We can use this one, the prompt text, right? Just say S1E1, whatever. It's kind of the reminder for me. Say, oh, for this part, I want to put something looks like this, right? When we click enter, it will be show up something like this, right? If you want to preview it, it's quite simple. We have the preview. Show preview in window. Yeah, it's gonna look like this, right? Quite simple. And then we need a kind of a dummy button to testing out, you know, the all the stuff we are going to do. For example, if we are trying to retrieve the value from this text field, we need a thing to ask Java to do this, right? We need a thing to trigger this process. So for now, I'm gonna create a dummy button. The button is on top of the control list. Let me put it right over here. For this one, yeah, for the button, all those, you know, font and color stuff, they will work in the same way, but I just want to show you one more thing before we move on to the FX and the controller part. So for the button here, we can say, you know, whatever regular. If we want to make it bold, it's fine, and we want to make it slightly bigger. Okay, and I always like, you know, for the button, I want the font always be white color, right? In this way, we can change the background color of this button. So we can use, you know, we can choose all those colorful kind of color for the background. So the button overall will looks more colorful, you know. It's I don't know, it's kind of my design. I preferred it in this way. So here just you know, go to the same section, properties. Once you have the button selected, right, scroll down a little bit, looking for style. Over here we can find some useful kind of attributes for this button if we want to make it slightly fancier. For example, for now we are going to choose the background color. Because it's a dummy button, we can use color like you know, yellow. Yeah, but it's too bright. How about red? Yeah, okay. But I prefer the black-white kind of a theme. So for now, I'm gonna use like black, right? So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this color combination. And for this one, we're gonna say it's a test button, right? Because the whole purpose of it is just testing whatever we are trying to do. Make sense? Okay, so I'm gonna yeah, put it right here, kind of, you know, in the corner, but not in the very corner. All right, and then we're gonna create a list view, right? Something like this one, the list view. The list view will be like a list. Okay, the list view, we have it here. All right, we drop it here. We can use this kind of corner thing to make it larger, bigger, or whatever in whatever way we want. Okay, and also yeah, we are missing a new button. So for example, like this one, we are only entering say 4 character long, so the thing doesn't have to be like that big. And then we need a one more button here, right, as new to create this whatever the new subfolder, right? So I'm gonna say Control C of this button and paste it here, and I'm gonna just manually drag it. It's kind of too big. We're gonna fix it. Probably the font is too big. We're gonna make it smaller. Yeah, looks okay to me. Because this one is kind of, oh, there's one technique if you want to move the button around, but if you manually like drag it, it will always snap to the guideline. If it's not a position you would like it to be, just highlight the button using the arrow key on your keyboard, up and down, left and right, to move it around. Basically, the idea is like when you using the keyboard, you are moving it by pixel. Just pixel by pixel, one click, one pixel, right? Something like that. Because this one is actually create a new subfolder, so I'm gonna call it a new. But I prefer change the color of the button if it's creating a new one. For this purpose, I usually prefer the color green, right? Green means a goal. We are just doing it. I don't know, it's just my thing. Okay, so for now everything looks okay. We are about testing it out, making sure all those kind of elements we added to this UI, everything works. So now I'm gonna hit Ctrl+S to save it. You can see SceneBuilder pops up a message and say, oh, the file saved, everything is cool. So now once we go back to IntelliJ, yeah, we see a lot more than before, right? And before we touch on the FX, we're gonna do one more thing to organize the control all themselves, because when we add them, we just randomly put them on this Anchorpane, right? But I prefer a way to organize them, make all of them in a certain order. So then when we're working on that FXML file, we know, yeah, it will help us to navigate all those lines, right? Because for now, you can see it's pretty long, right? It's hard to find which one is which. So now we're gonna do a slightly arrangement. For example, we can just click on this part. This part is kind of a content index view, more like a book. It's kind of the first 10 pages tells you, okay, if you are looking for chapter 1, go to page whatever, or chapter 2, right, with page number. So it's more like a navigation purpose. So just click on the label first, this one, highlighting here. Yeah, it looks okay, it's on top. And then it's in, no problem. This one is out, no problem. This one is a prefix, it's fine. But the text field, sometimes it's just kind of a little bit confusing, right? Text field, I would like it align with the in. So I'm gonna just drag it under in, right? So it's more like we are looking at this UI and we know all the control, how they are organized. So the text field is in, is cool. This one is out. Which one is out? Okay, I'm gonna put it under out. And then this text field is for prefix. I'm gonna put it right under prefix. And then text field is for the episode number. Yeah, looks perfect. And this test button, you see, this one is all the way here. Then I think this one should be on the bottom. And this new button is below this list view. I prefer it on top of that. All right, so it's more like, when you're looking at the layout, you are looking, okay, the label is on top, makes sense, and then we just work our way down. And these two, yeah, okay, they are just next to each other, and this one next to each other, perfectly fine, all the way to the new button, all right, next to this, right? You can see the highlight on the left hand side is keep jumping around as we just moving our mouse, right? And then the list view, all right, we are looking at the top and down. And then the test button is all the way here. So we are more like looking like, yeah, in this kind of order, right? And now we click Ctrl+S to save it. When we go back to IntelliJ, we can see everything changed. And yeah, if you want, you can take a look at it. They are in the order exactly following this. All right. So in this way, it's more like instead of we arrange it inside of the text file, then yeah, we do it on UI. It just make our stuff a lot easier. All right, right now it's already 20 minutes. I got like stop here, so I'm gonna move a few topics to the next episode. All right, see you in the next one.